is up, all you sexy nerds? It is I, Lord Grizzly Dionysus, on this miraculously fantastical, intoxicating Halloween. I am joined by the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend. You can barely see him through the trees, Mr. Jungle Jim himself, Wyldfyre1.
That's me, baby. Also, I'm not dressed up. Actually, I am dressed up. I'm dressed up as an old nerd with back pain.
You're a tree.
I'm a tree. I'm a twee.
We are on episode 185. Yep, there we go. Okay.
Which is a mini boss episode for the season. So yeah, we're episode 185. This is a mini boss episode, and this is going to be the last episode for spooky season.
It is
for October, and so technically this is going to be. It'll probably be about a week early, because I believe Halloween lands on a Friday, and this is coming out on the 26th.
This is coming out the week prior, yes.
Yeah, but this is going to be our Halloween episode, per se, because, Halloween doesn't always land on a Sunday.
Very true.
And so, with this being our Halloween episode, what's our topic?
Our topic is all things Halloween. Costume, candy, pranks.
Yeah. And we've talked about this in the past, kind of, but like, it's always good to rehash this and go back to it, because every year you have a different experience,
Oh, definitely. Let's start off with favorite childhood memory of Halloween.
Okay, that's a good start. Where do you? Okay, you used to go first since you thought of the idea.
So my favorite childhood memory of Halloween, up and down Main Street in the town I live in, the town I'm born and raised in, back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You can go up and down Main Street and go to each business, and they give you candy. And one particular business no longer there. I was walking around with my younger sister. She was a princess, and I was a pirate.
Okay, good choice.
It was right around the time that that Hook came out.
Okay.
So I was a pirate. I was Captain Hook. So I walked in with my mom, my grandmother, and my sister, and we walked into the store. And I remember it was an older gentleman. He had a big bowl of candy. He goes, "Trick or treat?" And the first thing that popped in my mind was, I'm kind of bored of candy. I want a treat, or I want a trick. So he did the whole, thumb thing, pulling it apart, and I was like, I see that every family reunion. He goes, okay. Well, this is a bit of a trick and a treat. I'm going to take your picture, and then that lady standing outside is going to interview you, and you're going to be in the newspaper.
Huh.
And I was like, no, I'm not. He took my picture. She went out, asked me all about Halloween, what I like about it, what I was going to do. And sure enough, I was in the newspaper the very next day. My mom actually made a clipping, took a clipping from the newspaper.
That's pretty cool.
Had that for the longest time, and no clue what happened to it. I think I was like 5 or 6. And that was my first favorite memory as a child for Halloween. Actually, kind of being locally famous for Halloween.
That's really cool. I mean, being in the paper is just it's really cool, especially for a kid.
Yeah.
I actually have 2. I have a lot of my Halloween memories are just really good core memories. So there's one where two stand out. One of them is I was probably in preschool. I was probably 7 or 8. Well, not whatever. But I was young.
Way late.
Yeah. No, I didn't. It was a But I was young. I remember like it had to be like past kindergarten. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, if you're 7 or 8, yeah.
Yeah. So I remember my parents got me a Darth Vader costume. And at the time that like Darth Vader costume was the best thing ever for me. Like it was just literally like you bought it at the store. It was one of those really like lame trash bags with like stuff put on it to make it look like it was the Darth Vader costume.
But you were Darth Vader.
But I was fucking Darth Vader. And then it had the mask, right? You know, just the face, the part that covers your face.
Oh yeah.
And I just remember walking around school and walking around like you know, going trick or treating and just having a good time with it. And so that's one memory. Nothing really special happened. I just remember I was Darth Vader and I fucking loved it. Another one was as I got older, I want to say I was probably in about 4th or 5th grade, somewhere around there. As I got older, I wanted to do different like costumes. I wanted to do something like that wasn't done before. That was kind of made by myself, kind of like I do with my cosplays.
Yeah.
But with that, you know, just spoiler alert, with that I find different things and put them together, what I did as a kid. You know, I don't make nothing. I'm not that fucking amazing with that, with anything like. I'm not that creative.
We are not talented whatsoever.
Yeah.
When it comes to creativity for stuff like that.
Yeah, for like that, like sewing and shit. I
that type of creativity. Yeah.
But I wanted to be a vampire hunter because you know Castlevania was big as a kid. Okay, you had movies like Monster Squad, you know, and just all these really cool vampire, and they glorified hunting vampires. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So as a kid, I made myself a little vampire hunting kit, sharpened a stick, got a cross that I got from my grandmother as a kid. They used to hang in my room, and I got all this other stuff and just put it together. And then, so my parents did my makeup, made me all like pale and like gave me black circles under my eyes, which now that's natural. Yeah. You know, now that's yeah. Lack of sleep, insomnia. So depression. Yeah. The black circles, they did that. You know, I was young. So I'd go from house to house and I get mad because no one would get my fucking costume right. There's a few times I was like, I'm a vampire hunter, hee hee, and they'd get it, but I'd still get my candy, so fuck them. But one of the really cool memories I had was this will tell you a lot about my parents. Grizz knows how they are. They're a very, you know, I'm a Gen X kid, very fuck around and find out. Learn the hard way. There was a house that was more or less, and this probably contributes to my love of doing this later on, but there was this house more or less decked out with scary shit. Music, really spooky, scared the fuck out of me as a kid, but I wanted that candy. I was determined. So I walked up to the door, and my mom at first goes, no, he shouldn't do that. That's not a good idea. But I was like, no, let him find out. Let him find out. So I get there, and just about everything scared the balls off me as a little guy. Someone jumped out at me, and I to this point, my parents will still tell this story. I ran across the street and kept running. So yeah, and so that trauma turned into something I love to do as an adult, which I think I kind of saddens me that you know Halloween's slowly dying as it is, that people aren't as festive about it. I mean, you still get these houses. Don't get me wrong, you still get these houses doing the stuff, the scary house. But it's getting less and less as far as
it was in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, it's just less and less trick or treaters nowadays. Well, and then again, you know, that being said, it's a different time, and there's
also a lot more pedophiles. So.
There's all that and a lot more crazy people. You know, you remember as a kid what we heard about mostly people putting like razor blades in your candy.
We were always looking for razor blades and drugs, and I never found any of that.
Neither did I. But you know, like you got to be fucking crazy. Like you got to be something's got to be fucking wrong with you,
dude. So I remember, I think it was like junior high. We went and did trick or treating in the like the retirement trailer park that my great grandmother lived in, and there was this little lady lived right around the corner from my grandmother. Funniest lady you've ever met. She would hand out apples and like the little like Hershey bars.
Mm-hmm.
She would take out and carve into razor blades and then cut a slit in the apple and stick it in the apple. So it
Oh,
looked like there was razor blades in the apple. I love going to buy her blade. It was so funny because like it still said Hershey's on the
oh, okay,
chocolate bar,
okay,
but she like carved it to look like a thin razor blade.
that's cool.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, well, I think that the fact that Halloween's slowly kind of disappearing as far as trick-or-treaters and that trick-or-treaters is what makes it fun. It's going on an adventure with your friends, going out and
Mhm.
going and get candy
Seeing who can
and
get the most candy and the
yeah,
best candy
you
and
know. And it's like fuck, man. I remember in high school, it's probably my 8th grade year. I Me and one of my friends went out and we constantly switch masks and go to the same house until we get caught.
I used to do the same thing. I'd go to the Halloween store and buy like 8 or 9 different, like, just like the real plastic, $1, $2 masks and change shirts.
Yeah, we weren't
And
that smart.
there was this one house that always gave like the king size candy bars. So we'd hit that house, hit a couple more houses. Me and my buddies would switch shirts, switch masks, go straight back to that house, and we make a killing.
As a kid, another good one is when I first started doing the haunted house front yard walkthrough thing.
Mhm.
Was when I was in high school, and I remember it was my parents' idea, and we had this thing where maybe it was all right my idea, I don't remember. It was a long time ago. So we had this thing where we had people walk through the front yard, and we had actual dummies out there, and then some of us were dressed as dummies.
Mhm.
Um, and we'd sit really still and wait for someone to come and bring, come out. The whole rule we had was don't touch anyone. Don't don't give anyone a reason to fucking sue you.
Yeah.
But one of the funniest stories was I had a kind of an older friend decide to join us that time, and I think I was a freshman in high school at this time. And so this older friend was like, we had this big ass like tree in our front yard, which actually added to the aesthetic of like how spooky the house was at night.
Mhm.
And this is before we had lights, but we never had like the smoke machines and stuff. That didn't come till
Yeah,
later.
yeah, yeah.
So like he's in the tree and he's waiting for someone, and no one gave him the speech like, if there's a baby among them, don't go overboard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this little Hispanic gal is basically got a stroller and she's going into the front yard. And mom's dressed as like a witch in an old rocking chair that I used to have. I fucking love that rocking chair. But anyway, Hispanic gal came up to the door, gets the candy, and then turns around to leave. My friend jumps out of the fucking tree like a wildebeest. Rah! Like the gal goes, "Adios mio!" and runs, leaving her child in the fucking lawn.
Oh,
In
jeez.
the stroller. So I was like, what? And those of you who've probably heard the past Halloween podcasts have probably heard me tell that story before, and it was just so funny. We had to tell her, look, it's okay, come back and get your kid. It's all right. We're not gonna jump out and scare you no more.
So, in high school, uh, I was like big into like video production and videography and stuff. And uh, my video production class,
Okay.
um, the teacher, his friend ran the haunted house at the fairground.
Mm.
So he's like, "Hey man, you know, you wanna work the haunted house?" It's like, "Yeah." So, it was high school students from the different high schools working, a couple guys in their 20s that were building it. And remember, every day we'd meet before we opened up, and everybody would pick which room they were going to be in because it was a big haunted house.
Mm.
And I remember there was one chick. She was from a different high school. She's like 3, 4 years older than me. She always got the vampire room.
Oh,
So
sexy.
I remember there was one night I got selected to be in the vampire room.
Mm-hmm.
I got grounded when I got home because I had this huge hickey on my neck because she had like the blood capsules.
Mm.
And so when somebody would come in, she would jump out and scare them, and I would act like I'm in the group, and she would grab me and just like start biting my neck, and you'd see the blood, and I start freaking out.
That's
Well,
fucking awesome.
she wasn't biting my neck; she was sucking on my neck.
So you got a hickey out of it.
Yeah. So, well, it wasn't just the hickey. I got home with lipstick all over my face.
You look like a man whore.
Yeah, because I don't know, probably the fourth or fifth tour coming through, she would bite my neck and then go and we'd start making out, and then she'd bite my neck and then go and start making out. Yeah, my cousin was one of the people in that party that came through and caught me making out with an older chick, and
Damn.
didn't realize that my mother and grandmother were in the parking lot waiting for her because they wanted to see how I was doing in the haunted house.
That's funny.
But I did the haunted house all 4 years. It was freaking awesome. I had a great time. I loved it.
I remember the high school I was at did a haunted house my freshman year, and maybe that's what caught me on to wanting to do it the next year after in high school. Wanted to do that my own little front yard thing. And I remember I was supposed to be Lizzie Borden's, like, because they did a reenactment, like a Lizzie Borden thing where she's doing that little Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her father 40 whacks or whatever.
Yeah.
That whole nursery
So you
rhyme.
were supposed to be her dad?
You know what? I was just supposed to be a victim. They just told me,
she gonna whack you?
She whacked me, but I was supposed to be a victim. Like I had two roles. One, to tell people when they were coming, and two, to like be the victim. Die horribly. And so, nice. Yeah, I had a good time with that. So that led me to wanting to do our own like Halloween haunted houses and walkthroughs and stuff. And I guess that segues into the next thing you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. So, those of you that have watched or listened to the podcast or anything on our project for long periods of time, you know that Wild and I used to work together.
Mm-hmm.
We worked together for quite a while, and it was right after we started working together that we both had to work Halloween. We got off at, I don't know, I think it was like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, something that day, and at the time I lived an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
So periodically I would just crash it at Wild's house, and we both had the next day off. So he's like, dude, you want to go have some fun in a haunted house? I was like, yes.
Me and my cousin Maximus would coast a haunted house. We like I said, we did it since we're in high school. So he did it at his house, and we would set up his front yard, and it was a lot of shit to do, but it was fun. And we had this, like, I would say, I'll call it a little mini maze, which it wasn't a maze. It was just straightforward. It was kind of linear.
In the garage,
yeah. Oh, it was before in front of the garage, but there was a pop-up tent.
Oh, yeah.
And then the pop-up tent we'd cover with tarp, and then we put smoke machines in there, and it'd be really cool. Have a strobe light and a bunch of stuff hanging from the ceiling. That way, when you walk through it, it feels like something's going over your face. Yeah, we would do that, and that so just so you guys have like an idea of where this is coming from. And me and Maximus did this for years, to the point after we became adults, after high school, we started like drinking during these times. Like but before like between the intermissions, between like kids would come and people would come from like 2 towns down to this house because they knew that this house, one, gave out good candy, and two, we worked really hard on scaring. Yeah. And we had our rules. The rules never changed. Don't touch. Don't. If it's a kid, you don't scare the kids too much, because the whole aesthetic of the houses alone will scare them enough. A little trauma never hurt nobody, but too much trauma, that's a bad thing.
Actually, the first time that I met Maximus, we got there and kind of laying out the costumes on who wanted to wear what, and
Was that the zombie year? Where he
No, that was the demon year.
the demon year? Okay, yeah, we always
Yeah.
had it. We just had kind of a little aesthetic, like a
Yeah.
theme to go
Yeah.
by, and yeah.
So we're in the living room talking. You know, they're kind of giving me the rundown of what to do, what not to do, and everything. And then we pick our costumes, and I was like, "Oh man, this fits. Oh, let's do this." And then all I hear is the fridge open, and Maximus goes, "You guys want some punch?" And I look at Wild, and he goes, "Yes, yes, we do." And we got smashed. And then the kids started showing up. We got some really good scares in. We had a blast. And then probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock, when it's kind of the older kids still kind of out and about. Um, I believe it was Maximus that said, "Whoever can chase them the farthest gets the rest of the punch." So Wild and I were just chasing these kids all over the neighborhood.
I think the scare of the night, and that's why I'm pointing at myself for those who are just listening. The scare of the night was some kid that was just being a little dick. Like, this isn't scary. You know what I'm going. You remember this. This isn't scary. So I just deadbolt after this little fucker, and I chased him like 3 blocks. Just like the kid never came back.
Wild finally comes back. Me and Maximus are standing there, or
Laughing.
I'm smoking, we're drinking, and all Wild says is, "He wouldn't stop crying, but he wouldn't stop running either." And we just started losing. It was great. We had a blast.
Every year was great, but one of the best years we had a what was called a lightning machine. You know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's those of you who don't know what a lightning machine is. It's basically a machine that runs off of sound, kind of like the LEDs in your you put in your room now. They're easy to get a hold of, but back then it was a big deal. It was a little box.
Oh yeah.
And what would happen is Maximus would take a chain off his chainsaw, and so the louder the noise, the brighter it got, and the whole front yard was wired with lights. And you hear kids coming in, and you hear, and the lights come on as he's doing it. And the lights come on as he's doing it, and then he steps out of the darkness with the fucking chainsaw above his head. It's all lit up, like all the smoke, like the smoke machines and shit. It's hard to see, so that you just see these kids fucking booking it, dude. Like, but we always had one part of the yard section off for like a graveyard, another part for like lights, other parts for hiding, and then we'd have a bunch of like animatronics and stuff inside the tent. You remember? Did he have the zombies that came out of the
Yes.
buckets when you? Okay, yeah, those were cool, especially when you had the lights on them right. And what what they were was they were motion censored. So if someone got close enough and tripped the sensor, these zombies would just slowly come out and like holding the top of this thing, and like they'd come out and be like, "Arr," and then go back in. Well, imagine that with like a bunch of smoke coming out of it because of the smoke machines that we put next to it, and then all the strobing lights. I've got a video, I think, somewhere of us doing a walkthrough of that, and it was just so fucking cool. If I find it, I'll put it on here. But for those who can see, are watching, for those who are not watching, you should go watch us on YouTube.
And if you can't see, the fact that you're listening is phenomenal.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
Bless you for that too. Yeah, we'll.
Asshole.
Do you remember that weird like skin tight mask that Max would wear? I bought that mask. I bought it, but I was so claustrophobic wearing it because getting it off.
And it was so freaking hot inside. Having facial hair, putting one of those things on is a no-go.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to breathe because it's stuck to your face. It's so close. It's claustrophobic.
I tried it and I did not like it at all.
Max would wear that, and he'd wear one of my old trench coats. So that was really cool. We had a lot of good times doing that. A lot of really fun moments. Made Halloween really cool. Sucks that we don't do it no more, but honestly, I don't think I could do the setup anymore.
You know how I don't like scary stuff, right?
Yeah.
So before I got with my wife, I went on a date with a chick, and we went to Hobbs Grove.
I remember that.
which is one of the biggest like haunted house maze areas
in our area.
In the Central Valley, in Central California. So we went to that and nothing bothered me. In fact, it was just jokes.
Even the clown room?
Even the clown room. Because the clowns were like 5'6", 5'7". I'm 6'3". I was wearing my cowboy boots, so it makes me like 6'5". And I'm like, oh, so
you're cute. You're cute.
And and then the hayride where they have all the characters come up, jump on the wagon and try to scare you and everything, and we go through it's like the trailer park area or it's like the Leatherface area, and these psycho hillbillies jump up and she's all trying to scare me and everything, and she's like, "You want to stay for some fun?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?"
Huh.
And she's like, "Wait, you weren't supposed to say that." I was like, "What time you off?" And she just jumps off. The whole freaking wagon was just busting up laughing. And I'm like, as a kid, I would at least get like an adrenaline jump. And now I don't.
I'm gonna take credit for that, for making you play scary games.
Yeah. I think the last one really kind of broke me. Well, and then like especially like this year with everything that I've dealt with.
I mean, I never thought you'd play games like Phasmophobia, and Demon Hunter, Demonologist, and like Ghost Exile, because those games all have like big ass jump scares, and with the exception of maybe Phasmophobia, I get that you can get desensitized to it.
Well, yeah, especially with that one, but and then even then when like we were playing was it Ghost Exiles the last time, when they added all those new jump scares, and like they hit the jump scare, you guys all screamed, and I'm like, whatever.
I like it when a game gets me. I do. I like it when a game gets me, but it's rare nowadays. Like I was playing Silent Hill 2 last night, and the game got me at one point and made me jump. I had to stop.
A lot of jump scares.
Yeah, I know. I played the first one and beat it years ago when it first came out, but I was playing this one and I was fucked up already. My back's been bothering me, my sciatic. So I jumped and it made my sciatic go, "Fuck you." And I was like sitting here in pain. I'm like, okay, nope, I can't play anymore. I gotta stop. So I had stopped that for that reason. Let's segue on to the favorite candy. What's your favorite candy you used to get as a kid?
Okay, so call me weird. I know you're going to. I know the comments will roast the shit out of me. But as a kid, one of my top 3 favorite candies was candy corn.
Huh? How did I know you're going to say that? Huh? Oh.
I fucking love candy corn. But then, it's always been Butterfinger.
Butterfinger's a good one. I'll give you that one.
And, believe it or not, I was over the moon whenever I get a Chico stick.
You know which ones that really kind of blew me out of the water? Were the houses that give out nerds.
Oh yeah.
Not just the small baby packs. Fuck those guys. No, the big ones.
The big
ones, like with the two different fucking flavors in one box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, that shit was fire. That was good stuff. I'd go there. Those people was like my favorite houses to go to.
And then it was like the mid to late 90s was dude, like you would double back on a house if you got Pop Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? Non like full chocolate bars? What? So like non like Snickers, Hershey's.
Yeah. None of the like mainstream. Well, I mean, I would say Reese's peanut butter cups, but I'm gonna go ahead and put that on. That's
always gonna be that's always gonna be a gimme.
I'm gonna put that on.
If you don't like Reese's peanut butter cups, you are not American and you are a demon.
I was gonna say you're Satan. You're a demon. Last time I heard you say that was the Monica.
Don't bitch.
Nerds is one of my favorites. When you get the Nerds ropes, those were bomb.
Oh yeah.
Because you got two things. You got licorice and a fucking and fucking nerds in
And
one.
nerds. Yep.
I don't, I call me old fashioned, but Tootsie Rolls were good.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They're always
Yeah, you
right. I
got
mean,
me there.
they're the cheaper. They're on the cheaper side of the candy, but they're still good. The
Still
Tootsie
good. Yeah.
Pops were fucking bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay. See. Okay. So like last 3 generations, right? Have no clue, but what our generation's talking about. But the Indian and the Star
I don't.
on the Tootsie Pops.
Oh yeah.
For those of you that have no clue what we're talking about, you get a Tootsie Pop and you find an Indian shooting an arrow at a star, you get a free Tootsie Pop.
Yep. So getting one of those for Halloween was like a twofer.
Oh yeah. Favorite costume?
Now or then? Or both?
Both.
Then was definitely because I was so proud of my Vader costume, even though it was a trash bag and a mask. Then it would be that. I mean, I'm more proud of the originality that I put into the Vampire Slayer costume. Back then, but like I had more. I don't know, just something about dressing as Darth Vader as a kid, you know. What about you? What about you then?
Then would probably have had to have been my Pirate Hook costume, because
Hook was a good movie.
I not only had like the little like plastic hook that you get, you know, you hold the little thing and it's got the hook here, but because of, you know, my family, I had hay hooks. So they cut that plastic part off and, you know, kind of cut the hook down and, you know, filed it to where it wasn't sharp.
Yeah.
And put the plastic piece over it. So I actually had a hook.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
Yeah.
Feels empowering.
Yeah.
Come here, Peter Pan.
Yeah. So as a kid, that was my favorite costume. Was that Pirate Hook costume.
As an adult, and I think you know which one I'm going to talk about, because I've been putting it together for years.
Gimp costume.
Yeah.
No, I know which one you're talking about.
I actually contacted Grizz and Dread about this when I first started putting it together. I was like, we should go as Ghostbusters. We should all just be Ghostbusters one year. And like both of them were like, yeah, we should do that. But I mean, it's also cost a lot of money to put that shit together. I've got maybe like 5 proton packs, and I'm gonna order the new one this year. So like you know, the ones the Spirit Halloween proton packs that they had, and then they recently actually put together a decent one, and then I think HalloweenCostumes.com just came out with an even better one. Sadly, I gotta get a better jumpsuit. The jumpsuit I have is just a little off color. But that's my real Ghostbusters, huh?
You're also a lot thinner since you bought that costume too.
Yeah, I've lost a lot of weight since then. And then I bought like a bunch of props, Ghost Trap, the PKE meter I got off of MattyCollector.com years before that. So that's my favorite. Like I have a lot of costumes. I have a lot of cosplay. I have a lot of really cool, you know, including you guys probably see me use on the show the Game of Thrones costume, the Night Watch.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
My Obi-Wan Kenobi, which you were there when I debuted that.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah, for what I paid for that costume, it should not look as good as it did. I mean, I paid over $100. And
you actually wore that for the first Comic-Con we went to.
Yes, and I didn't win. Fuck you guys.
He didn't win, but everyone there wanted a picture with him.
Yeah, and showed it off. You know, and recently I got I've been buying for a future skit that we're planning. I've been buying a lot of medieval style costumes. I recently bought a whole thing of chainmail, which fucking if my back lets me wear it, I'll wear that. And I got a bunch of different stuff to put over it. Look, I got a bunch of really cool fucking. I gotta get pictures of that too. To be honest with you, I have my Jason Voorhees costume, which all I have to do is, I mean, it was when he was wearing the jumpsuit, which when I first bought it, I got the blue jumpsuit, thinking that misremembering it was Jason Voorhees, but really that's Michael Myers.
Yep.
So all I got to do is buy a Michael Myers mask, and I got a full fucking costume for Michael Myers. But I've got
like the one I've got.
Yes, and those are mine. Like I'm a little proud of all of my costumes. What about you? I think you mentioned one of your favorites was the Hook, but do you have a newer costume that you're just for your like favorite, or anything you want to dress up as?
So, I mean, obviously, this isn't something that I made. This is my backup Dionysus costume. But I'm sure you'll remember the original Dionysus costume that I had that I made.
You did a podcast with us on that one, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's when we were both dressed up.
Out of an actual sheet. I sewed on the leaves, the grape leaves and everything to it. Went to a yard sale, found the old what is the old curtain ropes, and used that. And I actually got second place in a costume contest with that one.
That's
and
cool
I actually made that one. Just had my regular flip flops and kind of got a couple pieces of leather and did like the whole like Jesus sandals thing with it, and had the like the plastic grapevines and kind of tied those into a little crown like what Dionysus has, and had the little chalice, because I know you're big on chalices.
Oh
and,
yeah.
Had the little wine chalice, and just living it up. I really enjoyed that one. Of course, my Michael Myers costume, which is something, all I did was bought the mask. I already had everything else. I had the jumpsuit from spraying trees back in the day, and but there's one costume that I am working on getting. Fat bastard costume.
Oh yeah, I imagine that would be a lot.
Because I want a legitimate kilt, and those, because I'm such a big guy, are fucking expensive.
Get in my belly.
Kinda looks like a baby. Come here, baby, I'm gonna eat ya.
I'll dress up as what's his name? I'll dress up as Austin Powers.
Oh, and then I can get my wife to dress up as Mini-Me.
That'd be fucking great.
You can keep your money.
Oh, you know what?
Give me the wee baby.
But if no, you know what? I won't dress up. I'll be Dr. Evil. We'll go ahead and end it here, guys. We thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We hope you have a good Halloween. We hope you have a good week, and we'll see you next week on our next topic, doing all the good shit. If you have any suggestions, any ideas or thoughts you want us to talk about, Grizzly has a number for you to call.
By all means, give us a call. That number is 559-997-6803. Again, that number is 559-997-6803. Call us. Tell us what you want to talk about, what you want us to talk about. Comment on the most recent podcast or video that you watched. Things you want us to review, things you want us to watch, things you want us to play, things you want us to eat. What I want you to do is join our Discord. It's free. Costs you nothing.
And you get a lot more information there on what we got coming out in the future than you would like anywhere else. I kind of like to keep Discord and like our Facebook and all of our social media. There's a little bit of something extra on each one. But
YouTube,
Discord,
Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Why is YouTube there twice? Instagram, Anchor, Kick. All on our Discord. The links are all there, and it is free to join. And we have all kinds of stuff that you can talk with us. You can talk with the rest of the community. Share photos. Share videos.
Look at the events we got coming out. Just about every video I got that's coming out is on there. If you want to know what games are coming out, what new gameplays and all this other stuff, that's the place to go to find out.
Yep.
And until next time, we want you to stay nerdy.
And stay sexy.
Always.